the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1 minute segments and then examine it in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco, and gentlemen, let's talk about one of the world's great Christmas presents. What am I talking about? Because on December 25th, 1642, Sir Isaac Newton entered the world. He was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, theologian, and author. According to his second law of motion, the force in newtons that an object exerts on another object is equal to the mass of the object times its acceleration. How can this be applied to calculating the forces involved in a crash? Let's find out. I'm going to fire up our Marvel Minute to movie computer right here. A curb weight of a 2010 Rolls-Royce Phantom is approximately 5,577 pounds. Let's say it's going about 45 miles per hour into an immovable object. I'm going to go ahead and put in the calculations on that. And the result is instant death. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Bones are being made into paste here at minute 35.
It's instant death!
Iron Man 2 from 2010, directed by Jon Favreau, where apparently a car is not a car when it impacts somebody on a side of a road.
We're going to get in.
Yeah. So we pick up where we left off, which is also having Pete with us.
Hey, Pete.
We're still we're still wondering why you've not fired up the Marvel Movie Minute computer until now. Like, it's been there the whole time.
Like, no. We've needed its resources before now. I cannot believe that Rob brings that kind of antagonism to this minute and has not uncovered the truth about this potential pasty situation, which is actually as Whiplash was struck by the rolls, he took on his next evolution of Doc Ock, and it turns out that metal frame extends down his spine, and there's a ring around his hips too that's stabilizing. And so I feel like you guys have missed an opportunity to fix the movie because you're too distracted by its incredible inanity that it even exists in the form that it does.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me just check. You know what? I didn't realize this. I forgot. But just to call back to a previous minute, that is a feature of the Mark III whip system. I totally missed that. You just solved it because this is my least favorite minute of this entire movie.
I know.
And you fixed it. Thank you.
I feel like at least, I mean, it may have taken me 5 minutes to get there, but that I can contribute something to this project is a relief above all other. It's rough. It's a rough minute. There is some beautiful, like, again, I love to celebrate the work of art that is cinema. And these guys have made an incredible just straight up action sequence out of here. If only they didn't do the thing with the car and the human body, it would be because it stands out. It is so jarringly ridiculous.
Yes.
To the human viewer, the human who already has a body and knows how it would react to a car, a 7,000-pound death machine. Smashing it into a wall.
So let's get into the minute and
sorry, I'm
beat by beat
ranting.
so we get to there. So we have Ivan is slowly walking up on Tony, who is on the ground and obviously has rattled from the bizarre physics teeter-totter asphalt thing that happened at the end of the last minute. But he's making a plan because that's what Tony does. So he sees that there is fuel leaking out of the crashed car in front of them, and so he decides he's going to play a little possum. Well, wait there and lure Whiplash in a little closer. But then we come back to, there's our adorable little gremlin. He's going to town with those whips. And that's, once again, if there's the one shot is the famous is the back of his jumpsuit getting set on fire, then this is the second one, because this is in use in all the things, is really seeing Mickey Rourke's work paying off and going to town on those whips as he's approaching there. Just once again, just showing off, which I'm all for. So then as he gets closer, then he goes for the big swing. Tony dodges, he hits his explosion, and nothing happens. Big boom, and everybody just goes, nah. What happened? Tony set himself on fire. That's what the big plan was.
Well, and he also was projected about 30 feet from where he was, which I know that doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well, apparently in this part of the world, in this part of Monaco, physics don't work the same way as they do everywhere else.
Well, they're just bigger.
It is wonky, but okay, the thing that bothers me the most about this scene is it goes to the wide shot, as wide as it can for this, and the entire crowd in this section is still completely in their places. No evacuation has occurred. And we've talked about this in a season 2.
Yes.
That is dumb crowd mechanics. I don't understand.
Really, do you want to miss this show? I mean,
but it's not a show
yet. You're going to be talking about this for the rest of your life. I was there in Monaco.
At least they're ducking, right? If you're looking at about second 22 of this minute, at least there is this wave of the crowd crouching. The thing that gets me is back on the close-up, right, where you have the security personnel, right, all of the other police and orange suits and people running behind the fence, and none of them are looking at what's going on the road. Every one of them, their backs are turned to what is 8 feet behind them. And let me tell you, through that chain link fence, that rocket fuel that is burning in front of you is going to be hot. You are going to turn around and look at that. It is. I mean, you need bodies there. I get it, but you need faces and you need fear and you need them running away from it. And that doesn't play. Don't watch it slow motion.
So Tony sees help is on the way because a familiar car is making its way from the other side of the track. And of course, Ivan is not paying any attention at all. So Tony's keeping his focus on him. Look at me, big man. Look right here, right in front of you. Lock eyes. And so as he gets close, then Tony bravely leaps up and grabs like a cat and grabs onto that chain link fence as the Rolls-Royce Phantom slams into the unprotected legs of Ivan. And so he's dead, right? I mean, like, when you get pinned by a car, I was about to take this to a really dark place, but I'm just going to pivot away and do that. But
no, you're not just pinned in this case. You are two pieces.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what happens when this happens. You're two pieces, maybe three, because I'm not sure each leg would be attached to each other. I think you may be a torso and a couple of legs, I think, and a lot of
you're just finally a exoskeleton with whips and a bag of mulch.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah.
There's a problem too with this. I'm big on geography of the scene. Tony is looking at Ivan. Ivan is still a ways from Tony. We see the car enter the scene from behind Ivan. Mm-hmm. Why does Tony have to jump out of the way for Ivan to get hit by the car? Makes no sense.
It really doesn't, because the car you see at right around 35, as Tony is jumping on the fence, the car is turning hard left.
Right.
Into Ivan.
And so it looks like it should be car and then Ivan in front and then Tony to the right.
15 feet down the fence, you should see Tony.
But when Tony lets go, he's on the left side of the car.
Exactly. No, it's wrong. The way this scene is actually uncrafted, Tony would be between Ivan and the car. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, again.
Yeah, he actually, what you miss is that he scurries like a raccoon on the fence. He's just like the scampers.
Well, he did it earlier. That's how he got around Ivan. I mean,
that's right.
It's like from Bram Stoker's Dracula. He just skitters right up the wall.
That's right.
So what happened? So what happened here? So obviously, when you're making this movie, this shouldn't make sense. On paper, it shouldn't make sense. In the storyboard, it shouldn't make sense. Is it the lack of another option? Or what is the theory here?
Well, I guess they want to have Happy save the day, or at least appear to save the day. But I guess let's Monday morning quarterback this. So if I was doing this scene, it's fine to have Happy hit him with the car, but why did it just launch him down the way? And then he skips like a stone 3 or 4 times. And then it's like, woo! And they can still have their argument and all that kind of stuff. And then you cut to like a long shot and like the hand goes down and the whip ignites and he stands back up and it's like, oh no. And then so he's still coming for them. And he can still then do all the same stuff you're going to do right here. You can still whip the car and do all the stuff that we're going to see. And then in minute 36, but you don't have this ridiculous thing of doing it because Then he backs up and does it again, and it makes it even worse.
Well, is it? So here's my theory then. There is this, we started this back a few minutes ago with the little humorous shot of go, 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 and he guns it and Pepper hits her, and goes ouch on the back of the seat. Or when they're like, where's the key? Or we just talked about when Tony's arm's on fire and he pats it off like he's the Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz, right? There's throughout this entire sequence, there are these weird little moments of attempted humor. Some of them work, some of them don't. It's like they went out of their way to pepper these, no pun intended, to pepper these throughout this sequence.
Oh, intend your puns. Don't be a coward.
I think this is, I think that gets to it. That the fact is, like, it looks on screen like sloppy blocking, but what my hunch is that you had so many moving parts between first and second unit, getting the car driving on the track, getting all the putting pieces in that are shot in so many different places at so many different times. And piecing them together. I feel for the editorial team that's actually sitting there, right, trying to cut these pieces together, because it cannot have been an easy job even to make it look the way it does here. I think to your second point, Rob, that this minute represents the collision of the interior car universe, the Two Stooges universe, with the external action sequence universe, and those two things have a rough time getting started.
These two tastes do not taste great together.
Don't taste great together.
Boy, as soon as they start up with the bickering again, and I know this is the Iron Man signature thing of over talking each other and to make it all sound improv,
which is fine. I think it's fine.
But here it is wrong. It is the wrong choice, and it does not work, because also there's such different tone that Tony is like annoyed, which is like coming from like having just what happened in the last like 2 minutes of his life is annoyed by them.
And Pepper is legit
at 10.
Terrified.
She is like I've never seen Gwyneth in any movie ever. She is at the top. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, she is full on raging and fearful and everything. And then Tony is just annoyed by both of them. For why?
Is it bad that I, though, love the passenger seat shot? I love the shot of the low camera on the passenger seat.
Oh, yeah, where she's
looking up at, you can see all three of them in there.
All three characters, I think, is actually really well done.
Oh, no, you're not wrong. I mean, some of this stuff is, it's still, again, artistry of filmmaking. It's great, right? I mean, some of it is really, there are some really great elements. I just think that it suffers because, like anything else, in an otherwise terrific scene, the stuff that doesn't make sense to something that I know so much about, which is, having a human body, it takes me enough out of the scene that I'll notice everything else. Right. I won't I lose grace for the sequence in a movie that I otherwise really like. So
if I were to be defending this, my no prize thing would be that whatever in the Whiplash suit is creating a sort of force field around him, because we have not seen any of the stuff he's done impact him at all. So it seems like he walks through fire like it's no big deal. Well, his pants would still catch on fire, but he has no concern about that at all. So if I was going to do like fanboy stuff, I would say that the thing he's doing is actually creating a bit of a field around him, and that's what protects his legs.
I feel like I can ask you this because I know that on many deep levels you are a fanboy, and so
very much.
I will ask you this though: is there any precedent for that in the source material?
For Whiplash?
For Whiplash to have some sort of protective ability in and
not
around
at
Whiplash
all.
// Backlash, right?
No,
I know that
Whiplash not at all. They're like Whiplash's thing are literally whips. They are just he holds them in his hands and whips them. They are not attached to anything else. The closest this actually would be the Constrictor. So the Constrictor actually has an adamantium laced suit that it runs down his arms, and the cables come out and then retract back in. This is actually this design is much more similar to the Constrictor than it is to actual real Whiplash, who literally just has a whip in his hand that is, it does this same kind of stuff, but he literally could just drop it. Like, it literally is just a handle.
Well, and you just used the Marvel magic word, adamantium.
Yes.
That suddenly all is okay.
Yeah.
That is completely impervious to anything, and all pain forever is forgiven in Iron Man 2. It's either that or vibranium.
Oh,
maybe,
yes.
maybe it's a vibranium whip suit.
There you go. I say vibranium. So
Yeah.
that's also
Yeah.
fine. But
You know-
that would not explain the legs or anything. So yeah, there's no force field kind of. I mean, there is with the there's always been some pseudoscience around Tony Stark's suit, and that even then we're going to get to what the football is in the suitcase suit. In that it's like cloth, and then when he electrostatically charges it, I can't remember what Stanley usually said, then suddenly it becomes as hard as metal.
Yeah, and that's played on with the nanobot suit that comes later.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think, to your point, and I don't want to devil's advocate your devil's advocacy too much, but I just think that if there was some sort of protective nature, they would be way too proud of that conceit to not tell us something about it.
That's literally just like trying to be apologetic for it. Yeah, there's really no explanation.
There's no
all they would have had to do if they really wanted this to happen is just also give him legs, like show the metal on his legs as well. You don't have to you don't have to burn away his pants, but you can show the same kind of energy thing or whatever along his legs to show that he's also wearing metal struts.
Yes. Yeah.
So wait, this does beg the question then about this. And as you know, we've had now him in a few minutes now in the movie in the full blown Whiplash outfit. The Whiplash, it's the whips and a power source. What is the purpose of the entire upper torso device? Augmenting his strength, augmenting his power of flinging the whip.
I would say there's probably some of that, but also I think channeling the power. I mean, like the power is going from the center chest piece out down his back, like straight down his spine, and then out to the cables along the side.
Because here's my point. This does, Pete. You had it. Like then that is the whole design of this is somehow putting out the idea that it is augmenting his body structure.
Yeah, maybe. If that's the case, then there's a secondary failing in this movie, and that is that they didn't show it off, right? That we have to sit here and talk about it, then the movie has failed.
I mean, there is a bit of design porn in the first Iron Man movie that we get to see, and for the better. I mean, we get to see every piece of the Iron Man and how it fits 100%. Together, and how we get to see him playing with the repulsor in the palm, and we get to see like the boot jets and all that kind of stuff. Why didn't we get to see all that kind of stuff if it's this important?
Yeah, and we do get some of that in those early minutes, right? Where he's it's
just like dark light.
But it's it's not great.
It's a screwdriver and a flashlight.
But they eschewed so much of the mechanical porn, which was some of my favorite part of Iron Man 1, which was like give us the joy of building. But I sort of get a sense over the arc of the Infinity Saga, Iron Man was the building of the suit show, and we never get to see that for anybody else because we did it there. We're just gonna go. We got too many superheroes.
They like Captain America. Here's your shield. We're gonna paint.
Yeah. Right. So,
but in a callback to a callback, just like Dr. Octopus, it looks like Whiplash's suit wakes up before he does, because we get to see the little nibbly bits along his spine start to twist and turn before he actually we get to see him fully come conscious again.
I'm so curious what those things do. The things along the spine, the things along the sides, right? The sort of lateral pieces. What are they doing? I know some of that is a sort of call forward to the final suit, that where you see how the whips interact.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't get that kind of attention here.
Well, according to the Marvel Studios Visual Dictionary, they describe on Whiplash are scraggly, unkempt hair. The external mini arc reactor, which of course is important. Leather harness attaches technology to upper body. Russian prison tattoos and metal exoskeleton. So not a lot of insight there.
No, but metal exoskeleton implies an entire skeleton.
True. Let's see. His Vanko's crude first suit, the Mark I, focuses the repulsor technology through ionized plasma channels. Oh, I like all those.
Okay, ones. I like that. Yeah.
And that is specifically the Mark III, right? Did it say that?
No, it says Mark I, Rob. It says like right here. I believe in if you trust DK, and who wouldn't?
I know.
It says literally the Mark I. So I think that means that your theory is not as valid as we thought it was.
Well, there was an Alpha 0.9 edition of the suit that they didn't.
It's like Apple. They just keep adding a dot and another number, and you can do as many versions as you want without actually making
Tony talks about taking his first vacation in 2 years, and then the door explodes.
Yeah, the door gets cut in half, and that's where the minute ends.
That's where the minute ends.
Look at the time.
Are you trying to wrap us up?
Look at the time. What?
Are you about to pivot to ask for reviews? Because
no, let's just overall.
That's what we're supposed to do next.
Let's just glow. I know, but now we've gone this great week of these minutes. I feel better actually. I feel a little bit better about this minute, even though it is my least liked minute of the movie. But it's good.
It is. I think overall, I mean, I think this sequence it's an exceptional sequence for me in the movie overall. I mean, it takes us to a new place. Yep. It gives us a new sense of character. It gives us a sense of how how dark Tony has sort of fallen in, like the people that he's hanging out with, and it's just all sort of gross. We all get the sense that it's gross, and that he is challenged now. He has a challenge of feats of strength that I really do like, and so
and they made the whips not ridiculous.
Yeah,
which it would have been very easy to do. Like, you look at the stuff and you're like, why of all the villains? Why? But like, you see it and you go, okay, that's a serious threat. Like cutting cars in half. Okay. Like, all right, you've established that he is a legitimate threat, especially to an unarmored Tony Stark.
Right.
Bravo. But then,
no, you should just stop there, Kyle.
But then there's the car. Then there's the Rolls Royce, and then it all sort of falls apart.
You snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Just
what's
say
amazing
bravo and stop.
Here, let me tease the next minute. What is amazing to me about this movie is that for me, it could have my least liked minute of the entire film, followed immediately by, I think, one of the most profound minutes of the entire MCU. It's
possibly your favorite minute of this movie, right?
Oh no, it absolutely is. It's in my top 10 of the entire cinematic universe. I mean, we just talked about highs and lows, but what we want you to think about is if you have lows, you come and talk to us. Tell us how to improve. Tell us how to be better. Go on Discord. Go ahead. We've talked about that in a previous one. Like, you know what I mean? But if you want highs, you think this is amazing. You learn new things. You laugh. You cry. You're confounded, but then you're also lifted up in the great spirit and joy that is filmmaking. You should go and let us know by giving us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice.
If that's not worth 5 stars, by God, I don't know what is. So, minute 36, things are about to get real intense, and you do not want to miss it. So make sure you stay subscribed. Enough said.
Bye.